Hello, welcome to Graphic Communication here at HNC. My name's Matt and this is the Graphics Classroom. What I'm going to do this morning is run through the project that the students are currently working on. The project is called Our Hometown. Essentially, I asked the students to promote their hometown, wherever that might be, either in Calderdale, Kirklees, in a positive sense, thinking about tourism and things like that. So I've got a student's project here that I'm going to run through now so you get a bit of an idea over the sorts of things that we do when producing a coursework project. So as always with anything in the art department here at HNC, the students are expected to start their project with research and analysis, finding out what's out there, finding out things about their hometown in this instance, okay, what is interesting about their hometown, what makes their hometown different from other places and things like that. Some of you will be familiar with this kind of process if you do art or graphics at school. So we've got mind maps, we've got mood boards, so you get a bit of an idea of inspiration and what you might want to do as a project. Market research, which is really important in graphic communication, seeing what other artists and designers are influenced by and what you could also be influenced by when looking at their work. So you can see this student here has done a fair amount of market research. And then I always send students out to produce a photo shoot. Photography is an important part of graphics, okay? Getting out there, seeing what's what, looking at visuals, getting really exciting camera angles and composition, using light, etc. So this student has walked around Huddersfield and taken photographs of some of the iconic architecture that is in the town. And then we move on to illustrations. So this student here has used a graphics tablet to create a digital drawing of some of the views inside Greenhead Park. Then a vector drawing on Illustrator of the statue of Harold Wilson outside the train station, a really iconic introduction to Huddersfield when you get off the train, and so on. Then we look at artists, okay, in this instance Nicola Merring, and the students produce work that is inspired by that individual. And it kind of moves on from that. We look at branding, okay, so this student has looked at branding that towns and cities use to promote themselves. The student has then created their own logos to promote Huddersfield, used the Victoria Tower at Castle Hill, for instance, as like an iconic local landmark. Creating typography as well, that's another really important skill within the subject, using letters and words to communicate a message or a purpose. And playing around with that to create interesting outcomes. And then finally, producing the final outcome. Okay, and this student wanted to produce maybe some clothing that promotes the local area. And you can see some of the designs they've done there to promote Huddersfield on a hoodie. And there is her final piece that she has created and actually printed onto a hoodie itself. Okay, now that I've shown you an example of a student's work from a previous year, what I'm going to do now is show you some of the students' work that are currently in the classroom, and I'm going to sit with them and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about some of the work that they're currently doing. Okay, Freddie, just talk me through a little bit what you're doing here.
So I'm using a mix of Photoshop and Illustrator to create a Huddersfield inspired piece by like a sort of 1980s American postcard.
Okay, so with the text, any difficulties that you've kind of encountered so far?
It's just the sizing and all the sort of typography and spacing of it.
Trying to get the letters in the correct place.
Just with all the individual like shapes and the 3D effects.
What are you doing now with cutting the letters out?
Just to make them transparent so that you can put a different background through like the image in the top right.
Have you decided what image we're going to use yet?
Sort of imagery from around Huddersfield.
So you've got some other photographs. Have you got your PowerPoint open? Let's have a quick look.
Yeah.
And see what other photographs you've got from your shoot.
Should be right at the start.
There we go. So let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see what kind of image, because you've got the train station, haven't you?
Yeah.
As the iconic building that we associate with Huddersfield. So it might be quite nice. Well, I don't know what you think. So maybe get some of the rural ones. So you get that contrast between the urban
and the outdoors.
And the outdoors, because Huddersfield's pretty famous for both, isn't it? It's famous for its architecture, but it's also famous for its, its countryside. So I think that will probably be the best mix of the two. Okay, Anthony, talk me through what you're working on this morning.
sort of making a photo montage of different pieces from Batley.
Yep.
Just been arranging these different pieces, seeing like what composition looks
So is
best.
this a set of different photographs?
Yeah. And I've sort of merged them to all like one
Fantastic.
scenery. Yeah.
Any difficulties you've encountered so far when doing this?
Just using the brush tool on stuff like trees and different buildings, so I don't have any little white parts that stand out.
Right, yeah, okay.
Just to make it look a bit cleaner.
What tools have you been using in Photoshop to kind of create this collage?
Well, I've been messing around with the colour a lot,
Yeah.
using human saturation.
Yeah,
Just polygon lasso tool,
Yeah.
just to go around the buildings and create this type of drop shadow, I guess, behind it, just so it has a bit more depth.
so the polygon lasso tool's a bit like cutting something out with a pair of scissors, isn't it? But a digital version.
Yeah.
And now you're adding some typography, which you're using to promote Batley, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just seeing which one fits it best, I guess. I don't know whether to go for more of a serif thing or...
I think what you should do is I would try 10 different fonts perhaps, and then put 10 different versions of it in your PowerPoint, so that you've shown that you've considered different types of fonts and different typefaces. And don't forget, we can always download some from the internet if the fonts within Photoshop aren't suitable. So
Yeah.
that would be my advice to you. Find a few, then find a few online, put the different versions in your PowerPoint. What do you think?
Yeah, I
Brilliant.
like that idea.
Fantastic. Okay, Cash, tell me why you've decided to go with a more traditional drawing approach.
Because the style that I've chosen, it focuses on like a lot of detail in like the piece. So I decided that I'm gonna fine line on a piece of paper all the detail that I want, and then scan it into the PC, and then work digitally from there.
So you probably use Illustrator or Photoshop.
Yeah,
Why is it that you like doing traditional hand drawing?
because I feel like I can capture more detail than just like from digital, and it gives it more like a human touch than like the straight lines that you get like Illustrator or something.
Okay. And you also do fine art, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're able to transfer those skills that you're learning in fine art with your graphic communication, and then you can transfer your skills from graphic communication to fine art, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you've created a kind of collage here, haven't you?
Yeah.
Piecing bits of photographs together, and then you've got all the different iconic structures associated with your hometown, and then combining it into this one little piece here, and then, like you said, scanning it into the computer to create an ultimately, hopefully, a digital outcome. Will you add some colour?
I'm gonna like crop out the background and then hopefully add like a watercolor style using a brush on the top of it.
Or the Illustrator brushes? Yeah, so it kind of looks like a watercolour but done digitally. Fantastic, yeah, brilliant. Thank you for watching this video for graphic communication here at HNC. I hope it's given you a little bit of an insight into the sorts of things that we do here in the classroom. Please come to one of our open evenings in the autumn where you'll get a little bit more of an idea of the sorts of things we do other than this project.